Turn this on. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, yeah. My wife tells me I talk too loud, so there you go. There you go. Okay. What do we think about the minutes, guys? They look okay?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda, new business. Mark, why are we here?
Okay, you have two variances in the same location in Lake Holiday. They are in two separate cases, yet they are in the same area, so I'll just prep you with that.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of repeated material here. Your first case is ZV 2601, and the petitioner is Ratcliffe Homes. The owner is Ratcliffe Inc. Location is in the 3650 block of Weir Circle in Lake Holiday, and more specifically lot 69 of Holiday Shores. The type of case is a variance to the development standard of 1 acre, and it is discretionary. Today you'll conduct a public hearing to consider the variance of the development standard of 1 acre from the Montgomery County zoning ordinance. Specifically, the petitioner requests the variance from the 1 acre down to 0.52. Notice of the hearing was published on January 30th and to the adjoining landowners prior to January 30th. The petitioner is requesting a variance to build a single-family dwelling on the 0.52 of an acre lot. Montgomery County Health Department will review the required on-site septic. No highway review required since the roads of Lake Holiday are privately maintained by Lake Holiday. The county has reviewed the site for stormwater compliance. The property is adjacent to the water course of Lake Holiday with gutter downspout control. The stormwater ordinance can be met with direct release to the lake. The site can handle up to 4,500 square foot of impervious and be within the required percentage requirement. Protection swales would more than likely be required for the building permit along each property line to keep the water running towards the lake. Floodplain was reviewed for the property. There is special flood hazard area. It is encircled in red on the map right now. And the access to the property is from West Weir Circle, and Weir Circle again is maintained by Lake Holiday. The property is zoned residential, and the property can meet requirements for addressing. Again, it will have private well and septic. And Lake Holiday Homeowners Association is required to approve the improvement prior to any building permit issuance. So you have your three factors, and then staff recommendation for lot 69. Let me zoom down on lot 69 and turn the contours on. Staff does recommend approval with variance conditions. Owner required secured Lake Holiday approval, which is typical with all our building permits, and building and septic approval required from MCBA. Now, the stormwater requirements aren't part of the variance, but they would be part of the building permit. And as you can see, this lot, you can see generally flows to the lake, which the house, according to the site plan, would be in the center of the lot.
Okay.
And more than likely some protection swells along the edges of lot 69.
Okay. Are the petitioners here for this? Okay. Well, we can open this up for a public hearing at 11:04. Anybody want to comment on this? Excuse me, sir. Please come forward and state your name and talk into the microphone.
My name is Charles Hubbard. I live at 5370, which is directly across. The rules and regulations that we've had in the past have kept Lake Holiday a very good community, not a housing development. And I think any variance to permit more houses in that small cove would not be a good thing for the property owners. I've lived there a long time. I know what the water flow is. I know what it takes to come and go back there. I can't see this does anything except give a developer a chance to make more money. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hubbard. Anyone else want to comment? Okay, I guess we're going to close the public hearing at 11:05. Okay. Guys, do we have any questions we want to ask?
You did get 4 comments. 3 of them you had prior to today, and I gave you 1 today, so.
Yes. Okay, do we need to read those, or? Okay. Yes, we did receive them, okay. Well, I don't know if anybody has any questions or any problems. Have we had any other issues? Does Don, do you think this is gonna work?
Yeah, it's been approved for septic system.
Okay.
69.
Okay. All right. Well, are we ready to make a motion?
So we've, yeah, go ahead.
I know some people have written in emails and whatnot expressing their opinions. Are we taking them into consideration?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we've heard, and this has probably been the most prevalent amount of cases that we hear, period, is Lake Holiday. Because everything was pre-platted long before the zoning ordinance was placed. I would say the vast majority, we've leaned for approval just because they were pre-platted and almost a grandfathered look at it, I would say. But looking at, and looking at the conditions that are in front of us, so we have 3 factors that we consider when approving these. And I think Marc read those to you, but I can go ahead and just reiterate them. So the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community is the first one. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. And the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. For me, the third one, because it is pre-platted and known to, someday be used for a house long before our zoning ordinance, that's where I would lean on approval, because I think it does present substantial. Our zoning ordinance would substantially affect being able to build a property on something that's been platted to build a house on. So that would be my stance, and I would make a motion to approve based on that.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Okay, I believe we have that passed. Okay, now what can you tell us about the next one, Marc?
Your second case is ZV 2602. It is, again, petitioners Ratcliffe Homes and the owner is Ratcliffe Inc. Again, on 3650 block of Weir Circle in Lake Holiday. It's lot 72, well, parts of lot 71, 72, and 73. And it is, again, a variance to development standard of 1 acre. And again, today, you'll conduct a public hearing on this development variance. The petition requests variance from the 1 acre requirement down to 0.50 of an acre. Again, it was published on January 30th, 2026, and sent out to landowners 660 feet around the perimeter prior to January 30th. Petitioner is requesting the variance to build a single-family dwelling on the lot. The proposed is part of 3 lots in the Holiday Shores portion of Lake Holiday subdivision. Again, the health department review is required for the on-site septic. No Montgomery County Highway review required since the roads are Lake Holidays. The county has reviewed the site for stormwater compliance. The property has limited release area that will affect other lots in Holiday Shores. The impervious requirement can be met on the property, but topography limits the location of the single-family dwelling on the property and the release point of stormwater. Floodplain was reviewed on the property. Again, the special flood hazard area in Lake Holiday is on the lake perimeter. Access to the property will be from Maple Drive, and it is maintained by Lake Holiday. The property is zoned residential, and the property can meet the requirements of addressing. And again, it is served by private well and septic and required Lake Holiday approval. The staff recommendation from Building and Zoning is denial of the variance due to the stormwater compliance issues.
Okay. All right, have we gotten anybody was complaining, or?
Sorry, all comment letters for both variances.
Okay, all right, I see. All right, is the petitioner here? Want to come and tell us about what you want to do?
No.
No, okay. All right, well, we're going to open it up for public hearing at 11:12. Anybody want to make a comment? You can step up here to the podium and express your feelings. Tell us your name, please.
My name's Steve Korecki. I'm on the building committee at Lake Holiday.
Okay.
I have basically a question. I'm looking at this map here. The original house that's sitting there on lot 70 that crosses 71, where is its septic field now?
We don't know. We haven't assessed that house.
So where is he planning to be? He's building across 72, 71, and 73?
Yes. He plans to put the house on portions of 73.
So would the septic field from that house be on lot 71?
The septic field for the proposed house?
No, the house, the existing house now, the structure that goes across lot 71.
Again, we don't know where the septic is for lot 70.
How could you make a judgment then? If you don't know where the septic is, how could you say there's room for another?
That's kind of what my question is, you know, when
Understood.
that septic, if it's a older finger system that drifts across 71 there, it's gonna take up pretty much of that lot. And I'm just wondering how he's gonna place the house and whether the next septic field would be as far as drainage.
Yeah, that is.
And another question I have too, he's taken sediment out of that bay there and he's brought it up on the property. So he's already changed the topography of all that area there. Does it still perk the same for the septic and well when you do that? When you change the elevation of the land, or does all that sediment now have to be removed back to this original topography I'm seeing here?
That's not part of this variance assessment. The variance assessment is about the size of the lot being under 1 acre. And so we're making this assessment based on that, not on what's happened on the lot or the other lots in the area, so.
On one lot or combining three?
Insert, yeah, if the owner receives an approval on his variance, he then has to apply for a septic permit from our county health department.
So they would-
Mr. Orr is who they would see, but really the question you're asking is not for this board.
Oh, I see.
It's a different department. It's a valid question, it's just not for these guys. It's just not, their only job today is not to re-engineer the project or understand it. It is merely to say, our current ordinance says you can't build on a lot that's less than 1 acre. The only question for them is should they grant a variance from that? Our health department takes care of the septic issues. Our building department takes care of the drainage issues. This is not the place where we view the whole thing and say what we think of that. It's just not how it works. I understand your question is very valid, It's just not really a valid question for this board.
Okay.
They're only dealing with one issue and that issue really boils down to, can they get a septic on the property as it sets? And that's where Mr. Orr comes in, and that's why they'll ask Mr. Orr that question later.
Ready? Thank you.
Just so, it's a valid question, just maybe not the right
Yeah.
question.
Thank you, sir. Okay, anyone else? Okay.
Hi, my name's Marc Etherton. I'm a resident out at Lake Holiday and part of the POA Building Committee.
Okay.
My question, and I do have a question for that too, is when you say that you are trying to, you're trying to restructure, is it you are restructuring the plots themselves? Like 71's, after you get done, 71's going to be a different size, 72 is going to be a different size?
No. No,
Okay.
this board does nothing about that at all. No, we don't replat anything.
So-
That's actually
So
not,
you're going to leave the plats the same, but you're trying to decide whether the structure that's going to be there is going to be, what exactly is it that you're trying to decide there as far as this, how big the structure can be on the plot?
can he build a house on an acre, less than 1 acre?
Well,
On this particular site?
I guess wouldn't that depend upon what house you're going to build? And do you have that information, that how big the house is going to be?
Can I take this one? Is that okay?
Sure.
So basically, our job is, and your concerns are valid, I get it 100%. But our job on this board here today in front of us is to be just kind of like a judge in a courtroom, is can the criteria be met to say yay or nay? And I get every one of your concerns about all this. So I would have a million questions about this too. But today on this, without a rezone or anything else, our job is to basically make a decision, is this site impervious to the plans? One, can the requirements be met, yes or no, type of deal? Or does it, adversely affect the comprehensive plan? So basically, what's in front of us today, that's our factors of what we have to determine on the information we're given.
So
If that makes any sense.
Well, it does, except for the standpoint of none of us have seen a plan, and so I'm trying to understand how you guys evaluate this without having a plan of what's going to be built and where it's going to be positioned and what, so you're planning and all that.
Here's what's been submitted to us. You're welcome to look at it. And our staff does look at that, it's contained in the report, but sorry.
Okay.
So we have a general, that's called a concept plan, is what we have there. But again, this board doesn't decide whether they have a right to use this lot residentially. That's already established.
Okay.
This lot does not grant a septic permit. That's our health department. This body does not replat land. That would be our plan commission. No request like that has been made. So again, the only question before them is, we don't allow people to build on lots of less than, you can keep it if you'd like. We're not allowed, you're not allowed to build a house on a lot that's less than 1 acre unless you can demonstrate that you can establish a septic field that will work, and you have a drainage plan that will work. But those two things, the health department does the septic and our building department does the drainage.
So is
It's
this
how that other
approval
works.
contingent upon that then?
Well, if it's approved, and it has a recommendation to be denied, but if it is approved, it merely says that one hurdle has been crossed. There's still all the permitting things, which is done at a staff level, that this developer would have to accomplish. This is just one step in the process. And I just want, and this is not the last word on this at all, this is merely the answer of one question.
Okay.
The lot's less than 1 acre, so every undeveloped lot at Lake Holiday comes here to these gentlemen who have to decide, you know, can they do this? They want, their concern is, yeah, they want to hear from Don Orr and say, you know, can a septic be put on that lot? Because every lot's different. And that does depend somewhat on location and footprint, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Bonwell, who's our building administrator, has to deal with the drainage issues, and he's recommending a denial because he's not happy with what's going on in drainage on this particular lot. That's his position. So it isn't viewed in a vacuum, and
Okay.
again, but again, whether someone can build a residential house on that lot, outside of this one issue about the 1 acre, they already have the right to build houses out there. That's all zoned residential. Those plats have all been approved for 50 years or however long it is.
So there's no change in the plats. That's really what I was getting. Main thing what I was getting at was, you're just, because the plats are smaller to under an acre, then you're trying to decide if it's still okay to build a house there.
That's correct. The developer, though,
right.
just to be clear, the developer could ask that the plat be changed. That would go to a different body, our plan commission. But that, we're not aware of that, but I mean, that's how that works, platting.
Okay.
Platting is different.
All right.
The Board of Zoning Appeals has certain, you come before the Board of Zoning Appeals if you don't want to comply with something in our zoning ordinance, or you need a special exception. In this case, the builder does not want to comply with the can't build on a lot less than an acre. And that's what this case is about, this particular case.
Okay, and it sounds like to me there's other gates that have to be met.
Permitting.
Before. Okay.
Septic
All right.
permit, building permit, drainage approval.
As well as Lake Holiday approval.
But
As
I
long
just
as-
wanted to
as long as
clarify
you're
that there
approved.
wasn't any changes to this plat, because I understood that you guys were, you know, one of the things that I noticed you said on lot 69 was that you had you know, that because these plats are already set, then you were okay with what you were doing with lot 69, so that's why I was asking about these. Was there gonna be any change to the plots, so, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, the petitioner must show there's some practical difficulty in his situation. And when the zoning ordinance was adopted by the county less than 10 years ago, it created practical difficulty for every lot at Lake Holiday that was under an acre. And that's what Seth was talking about.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else want to speak on this issue?
As far as I don't know if anybody here has the stormwater, like the details of the stormwater compliance issues. Any more detail on that as far as?
Should I go ahead and close the hearing?
Yes, I would close the
Yeah,
public.
okay. No other people want to talk, so we'll close the hearing at 11:23. Okay, Seth, now we're to your questions.
Yeah, just wanting a little more detail on the plot. It sounds like there's some water issues for the plots themselves.
I'd be happy to. So if we look at this property, there is a bit of a summit right here. And water flows towards Weir Circle. Water flows towards these other lots on 76, 75, and 74. And I will tell you, the 75, 76, and 74 are going to be combined for another building lot. But they are over an acre as combined. So they meet our ordinance. So with water coming straight onto these properties from this location, I can't see where the runoff from this property, because when you increase impervious on a property, you don't necessarily create more water, you create faster water. So where's this water gonna go when this property is developed? It's gonna go on to Weir Circle, it's gonna come on to other properties without having direct access to a water course. In Lake Holiday, the main water course is the lake, and there's a lot of drainage ways that enter to the lake. So if you can get direct access without going across the property line to affect another property, then I don't have any issues with it in general. But with these smaller properties, I'm looking at where that stormwater is going to ultimately be dispersed or released. Where's it being released? What's the effect of the surrounding properties of that release? In Lake Holiday, is there drainage ditches that take that water along the streets? Generally, Lake Holiday, they do have ditches along their streets. Some are less of a water conveyance than others. Ditches along streets are for one purpose, to de-water the street, not to convey stormwater around a property. You have to remember, Lake Holiday doesn't have stormwater tactics. They have a center lake. This was platted prior to any stormwater ordinance in Montgomery County. So all of these are, each lot, they could be side by side, each lot has different capacity. So just so you know that we have a proposal for a house on 74, 75, and 76. We have a proposal from the lot 72 without any adjustment of parcels, and 69. So, but the stormwater is of the entire area, not just that one location where they want to build that house. So,
Can I ask you then, again, it's the petitioner's burden to show what the plan is with stormwater. So based upon what you know then, is it your opinion that the approval would be injurious to the public health because of the drainage issue?
that
what
is
you're
correct.
saying? And again, the petitioner could have brought enough information for Marc to feel more comfortable. It's their burden to do so. It's not Marc's burden to engineer his project.
Steve, can I go ahead and make a motion to follow the staff's recommendation?
I was just gonna ask that,
For
yes.
denial on this, is that
You bet, go right ahead,
following the staff's recommendations?
yeah. Okay, have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed? Okay, it did not pass. Denied.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Should have the other one too.
well, it's a different situation.
Yeah, that one's,
Jason, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's all our new business. Do we have any other business, Marc? Do we have any other business, Dan? Then we're ready to go. Okay.
Marc, do you believe that, do you believe that? Okay.
Okay. Okay. Need a motion to adjourn?